Alrighty, you already know what it is, family. Thank you for tuning into another episode. It's the Lucky Libra, and we're getting into the personal reading for all Libras, getting into this new moon, this new solar eclipse moon in Gemini, all right? So let's get right into it, family. So Libra, cardinal air, ruled by Venus, okay? So this whole season has been a trine for you guys. This whole season has been a trine. And when we look at trines are 120-degree angles, and these are harmonious alignments because both of these planets, your sun in Libra and these planets in Gemini, are both in air, so it creates a harmonious alignment. The season we're in, you already get down with the element, which is air, communication, logic, dealing with more rational thinking, all right? And when we're looking at a lot of air, we could deal with a lot of relationships. We could get lost in relationships, deal with extra thoughts, overthinking, all right? We could forget things a lot. So even though you had this trine, you had the access to making sure you're able to utilize familiar information and knowledge you already had, being able to see how you can make things shake in your surroundings before reaching others. You had easy access from gaining some form of support from your familiar surroundings. So Libras, this season, you learned a lot if you knew how to listen this season and not talk as much, Libras. You learned a whole lot. You may have had a lot of familiar friends. You may have had people in your surroundings give you new information about businesses, about certain investments you can make. And your relationships may have been critiqued heavy or receiving a lot of heavy critique from your relationship, all right? Friendships and your relationship. Shit, Libra, a lot of the critiques that y'all got, you was hearing somebody else talk about somebody else and realized that person was talking about somebody else, that's a habit you could work on. So you was dealing with some of that energy too, because it's a trine. So your clarity is a little bit different from others. When it comes to the things we're supposed to readjust, we're supposed to be readjusting, revising right now amongst relationships, people, air energy, aka Mercury retrograde in Gemini, Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. You the air sign that don't got no planets in there, aka Saturn's trining you. So you have clarity and understanding what relationships you can build on and needs to be restricted. What relationships you need to put time into, what relationships you need to be distant from. What relationships are realistic or not what relationships are realistic. You seeing the reality to your relationships. That's been the whole year. It's just been more of an emphasis during this season because we're dealing with retrogrades and more alignments in air to put more of an emphasis and thought into people, into relationships, but more so what's familiar to you. So when we look at this season, Libra, you got to understand that there was a certain wisdom that you was being tested to have, to utilize while dealing with friendships. And then when you didn't utilize that wisdom, when you didn't utilize that gift that you have in order to understand what relationships have substance, need time invested, you learned real quick this season, okay? Because you already had access to positive energy and making things more stable among how you deal with people and how accessible you are, Libra. You're too accessible, Libra. You're way too accessible. That's why this season could have been real chaotic, reckless, and scattered and unorganized, because you're already dealing with air, but being so quick to relate and align with what other people doing leaves you feeling unfulfilled when it comes to personal issues, when it comes to things you personally are passionate about. So it's very important moving on during this new moon that you guys utilize this trine-like energy to bring things whole from what you've experienced this year, as far as shortcomings with people being unreliable, you not maximizing creative ideas. There were certain situations in this season that may have burnt you because you ain't maxed out with a creative idea you had, and then now you start to end up putting yourself in a is it too late type situation. Is it too late to act on that? Is it too late to do this? Is it too late to start that? It ain't too late, but it was feeling like it, Libra. It was feeling like it. All right, if you didn't, put some of these things to the works. So this is what we dealing with this new moon. Moving on, stop sleeping on the info you are giving. Stop sleeping on the info people are giving you, Libra. Like I said, you may have been able to refine business in a whole lot of situations in your life, especially certain relationships that had a little turmoil, a little friction in it. There was circumstances where you knew when it was wise to jump in and express this to help somebody else deal with their emotions and thoughts about the relationship so things are more balanced. You knew exactly when there was a time for you to be more transparent. You knew exactly when it was a time to be quote unquote honest to somebody about something instead of making things sound good. So the ability to be wiser with how you deal with communication, your relationships, and how you put these things in order to feel stable and build on your reality efficiently. Okay. These are the things that you've been influenced to deal with, and as long as you utilize that wisdom, you put that into play, Libra, things will be all right moving into Cancer season, okay? Just making sure those is all my notes. And learning to practice your boundaries and once again your accessibility, okay? Just because it's about to be a hot summer, Libra. You can't just be aligning just cause. We're going from a trying season to this season. You being able to gather so much information, a lot of new perspectives of doing things, possibly even new contacts, met new people. Possibly met somebody new intimately. With all the things, with people's relationships feeling all unstable and rocky right now. With sure alignments, you may have actually met somebody right now that seems a little able to stimulate your mind right now. All right, your air signs are real Sapio-like. So these are the things you want to keep in mind moving after this new moon, moving into the rest of the Gemini season, into Cancer season. All right, Libra. A lot of the times, things, the attention and time your personal priorities get depends on how much attachments you have to others at times, because you start looking at these attachments like responsibilities, and then it just gets stressful when you create too much responsibilities for yourself. All right, Libra. So we want to make sure we take this new wisdom to cultivate a more evolved self-identity moving into the rest of the Gemini season. All right.